See, you know what? Because I heard the click stop and I thought you stopped.
What's up guys, it's Lucas and you're watching Fine Tuning. I was sort of hard on glary guitars a few videos back, and since then I've had quite a few people ask me, well, if not this one, then what inexpensive guitar would you recommend for me as a beginner or for my child who's a beginning guitar student? I generally suggest the Squier Affinity stuff, which is pretty good and relatively inexpensive. It's usually under $300. However, recently Donner reached out to me and asked me if I'd like to try one of their new DST 400 models. And this guitar comes in at $199, or basically $200 US. And after I saw the specs on it, I agreed because I thought this might be a good candidate. So in the interest of transparency, this guitar was given to me by Donner for review. However, all thoughts are my own and I'm not being compensated in any way for this video. So let's throw it back to past me for the unboxing so we can see what comes in the beginner package. Thanks, future me. Let's unbox this thing and check it out. You don't need to know what my address is, so I'm just gonna... Alright, well, you know what time it is. It's time for the tone knife. This is the Walmart razor blade variety. I find these have got a really nice top-end presence. They just really cut through a mix. So here's what we have. A cable that actually, that doesn't look like a terrible cable. It's like a strap and some tools. Kind of a woven strap with some nicer ends on it. This is the tremolo arm, but I can tell from looking at it that is a push-in, which tells me that I think probably we're going to have a pretty decent quality trim system on this guitar. So again, for the price, that's very, very cool. Here's the bag. It's more than a dust cover, definitely. It has a little padding, and it's inside of a bag inside of the gig bag. Very well packed, I think. I'm impressed. They've taken and put paper underneath the strings, so the strings cannot bump into the frets during transit, which is nice. Oh, I'm just realizing this is a translucent body. Tag here with a string action ruler on it. Wow. Hopefully you can see that. This looks really nice. This feels, I gotta be honest, this feels like a higher end guitar. I'm gonna set this up, put new strings on it, kind of just play with it, get it the way I like it. Back to future me. We'll see you in a minute. Shout out to past me for doing that. Really appreciate it, my dude. The specs on this guitar are mostly what you'd expect. It's a 25.5-inch scale bolt-on neck Strat style guitar with a humbucker single pickup rig. The guitar does have a 2-point tremolo, and also in the back, you can't see it because I have the cover on here, but there is a full-size steel tremolo block back here. Also, unlike quite a bit of Fenders, including the original ones, the tone control, the back tone control, is wired to the bridge pickup, so you can control the tone of your bridge pickup. Also, on this guitar, this knob is a push-pull, which allows you to split this pickup in half for single coil. The body is also made of alder, and the fingerboard is made of rosewood, which to me is slightly more desirable than the comparable Squier, which is usually going to have either basswood or poplar, and probably a laurel fingerboard, at least right now with the way wood is. It also comes with vintage slot head style tuners, like you find on the original Stratocasters. These tuners are nice and smooth. They don't feel sticky or cheap in any way, and they hold tune very well. It's got a very well done fret job, and not just as far as the level and the crowning, but also the edges are very nicely dressed, so the guitar feels smooth up and down. I don't feel anything sticking to my hand when I run up and down the neck, which is a really kind of higher end feel. Now that I've had a chance to put on a new set of strings and adjust the guitar to my liking, let's check out some sounds. For my signal chain, we're going to be using my BluGuitar Amp 1 Iridium Edition into my Legend 2x12 cabinet, which is made of oak, and it has warehouse lead 80 speakers in it, and that is mic'd with a single Shure SM57. First, let's check out some clean sounds from the clean mode on the BluGuitar Amp 1. Now let's hear some mid-gain from the vintage mode. Now let's try some high gain riffs on the bridge pickup in the modern mode. Okay, now that we've heard what it sounds like, it's time for our pros and cons list. Starting with our pros, the guitar played very well and was intonated correctly right out of the box. So I made some tiny adjustments kind of just for playing preference, but it was 100% ready to play right out of the box. It also stays in tune very well, barring trim use, but we'll get to that in a second. I think the pickups are really good for this price range. To me, they sound as good as anything I hear in the classic vibe guitars by Squier, and some of the Mexican-made Fender stuff as well, to be honest. And the addition of the tone control for the bridge pickup as well as the push-pull coil split for the bridge pickup is a really nice touch. It's also a decidedly higher-end looking guitar in my opinion. Now the Squier Affinity guitars are great workhorse guitars, but they do kind of like look cheap, whereas this guitar I think looks, you know, a little more high-end. It looks like a G&L or, you know, a nicer kind of custom-made Strat or something. And again, it's hard to see in the camera here, but this is a translucent finish, so hopefully that shows up. But you can actually see the wood through this. It's not just a plain black guitar, so I think it has a nice kind of elegant high-end but still understated look. The alder body, maple neck, rosewood fingerboard, and the kind of full-size steel trim block add up to make what I think is a pretty resonant and sustainful guitar. Now let's talk about a few cons. So the major con for me here is the tremolo itself. Now in theory the two-post tremolo is a really good idea, but I like a floating tremolo. And this tremolo can't be really made to float strictly because of the way it's designed. It has a big, you know, full-size block in the back, but the way that the cavity is cut here, that block prevents it from going back any farther. Even if I raise the bridge posts up to give the, you know, the top of the bridge some wiggle room, it just can't be pulled back any farther because of the way the wood is. Now it does function in a down-only kind of dive setting. But the material that the bridge plate and the knife edges are made of is kind of a softer material, and so it sort of catches and doesn't really come back in tune all that well. Essentially what I'm saying is I just wouldn't buy this guitar with the intention of using the tremolo unit. I think it's also worth mentioning that the bridge saddles are also made out of a kind of cheaper material, and as such they are a little bit warped. They still work okay, but you know, it's a little bit off-putting to look at. And just to get the action kind of at a good low playable point, the intonation screws kind of have to stick up a little bit, that you might kind of notice it with your hand and it might feel a little uncomfortable. Again, that comes down to personal preference. However, that being said, the saddles on the guitar are a very inexpensive and easy replacement that anyone can do themselves. And you can buy a set of saddles that are, you know, like nice Graphtec saddles for, you know, maybe $15 or $20 on Amazon or something. So I wouldn't let that waver your decision on whether or not you buy the guitar. Overall, even with a few cons, I think this is a lot of guitar for the money. It's a good value. It's great for beginners. This would be good for the Strat guy who wants a guitar to take to dive bars, he doesn't want to take his vintage Strat in, or if you just need like an inexpensive backup, this would be a totally suitable guitar as well. I will leave a link to Donner's website so you can go check out this DST-400 guitar for yourself. If you like this video, be sure to like, leave a comment, and subscribe, because those things help me out and they allow me to make more content for you. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you later.